I grew up in Nigeria, and it was this something that nobody wanted to talk about. So by the time I got here, it was difficult socially in that aspect. People thought I was interesting because on one hand, I was very smart growing up. As you know, I was very smart, so people like to ask me questions, stuff like that, and I was happy to engage. But when it came to the social aspect, it was very difficult for me to engage them, or to go out of my comfort zone, to interact with fellow classmates and whatnot. So yeah, it's not surprising that I had little friends when I was growing up, but it is a mixed bag in the sense that it gives me the energy to how can I say this, to know the subject matter, because I don't like to, growing up, I didn't like to expose myself in that sense. So I took it upon myself to learn the subject matter. But so it was a mixed bag in the sense that when I went to college, it was difficult in the sense that I couldn't know the subject, so I found it really difficult, to acquire the subject matter. So it affected me academically for a while until like my junior or senior year. That was when I started to ask for help, and I made a few friends. So yeah, so it's been a mixed bag in that sense. So in my scenario, when I started, people tend to give me these faces, and did not all it did not this welcoming, sides of expression and joy, whatnot. It's not that. It is this, puzzled. What the hell is this guy doing? It's that kind of expression, and it is very, humiliating. The only safe place that I had was my family, and I don't know where I would have been without them. But it was my safe space in the sense that they were understanding. They wanted to help me, but at the same time I felt they just couldn't. So more often than not, I found myself in there and not out in the world, because of the acceptance level was not just the same. Yeah, I felt that definitely. I would never be the one with with lots of friends, stuff like that. Yeah. I also worry that I will not make the proper adjustment, at that age and whatnot. So I worried about that a lot, and I still do to some extent. One of the things that starting to do is that it makes you think small. It makes you think, think in the granular sense of the word. So for me, growing up, I thought I couldn't do many things because I stuttered. For example, I thought I couldn't study law because I stuttered. If you know anything about me, it's like one of the greatest fascination of mine is the way people argue. They win like through words, using like language and whatnot to argue and to make a certain point. But when I think of this sort of stuff, I end up going back to the fact that I can't keep up. I can't talk like this. But yeah. So it makes you think small. It makes you think that for example, now it makes you think like that I won't have a lot of friends, won't be in many relationships, stuff like that. Like it can be very destabilizing, yeah. But the only way to beat that notion is to expose yourself, or for those things to come to your view, if that kind of makes sense. So growing up, I never met anybody who stuttered. And when I did meet people who started, I was surprised by by the level of stuff they are doing, and I was surprised there. So it is raising my viewpoint in that sense. It is making it bigger. I never sought medical help with stuttering because at the end of the day, I knew you couldn't cure stuttering. So I figured, what is the point? I delayed. I was using this reasoning all the way until the beginning of this year, ending of last year, because when somebody if somebody had told me that you should seek treatment not to cure the stuttering but to eliminate the baggage that comes with it, that would have worked for me. It would have it would have made me come into the door sooner. I would have introduced myself sooner. But I was thinking of the other side of the equation, which is the stuttering. I'm a fairly reasonable guy. I can use Google, that I can easily check if there's a cure or not, and I definitely know there's not a cure. So I figured why go through all this when there's no cure. But if I had thought about the other side, it would have been much helpful in eliminating the baggage, not showing up and stuff like that. The most important thing is is for one to be authentic. In my view, I believe all these fluency shipping techniques are misguided. My mind, I harken back to the time when I watched a movie. The movie was called The King's Speech, and I saw this scene when the guy was preparing to give a speech, the amount of massages, the throat massage, and so many stuff just for you to to give a speech and to be as fluent as possible. Like that is not you. Suppose I would rather somebody give me the confidence, the jolt of energy I need to just go out and do it, other than me or to go through this series of exercise. Because at the end of the day, what you are it is a facade. If that kind of makes sense. It is not. You can't possibly do this every 24/7 a day, 365 days a year, and expect this to be your solution. It just doesn't make any it doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, we should accept you for who you are, and if you are certain, I'll rather a speech pathologist give me the push, the confidence I need to go out and be me, other than me to be do not just gymnastics and what. My success story was in job interviews. In job interviews, where was always difficult for me, because it felt like a judging contest, in the sense that when I started to speak, I'll have people looking at me, reacting to what I'm saying. It was also saying what you want to say, and you're not substituting words. There was a time when there was a time when I used to do that a lot. So at the end of the interview, I wouldn't get the job because the interviewer would think I didn't know what I was talking about. So it was a really it was really big for me. So after arts therapy, I did this interview. Before we started chit chatting, I disclosed right up front. I told him that I'm a person who stutters, that that if you see me stuttering, that that I am more than happy to repeat on myself, so on and so forth. But it made such a big difference. I didn't, I wasn't, changing words. I said what I wanted to say. If anything, I said too much. Yeah. But, at the end of the day, it worked, Yeah. So that's a big, that was a really good experience for me. I also had this interview where I had 5 guys, interview me. And instead of me to feel the pressure, I really didn't. It was really comforting in the sense I looked them in the eye. I stuttered, but at the end of the day, I said what I had to say, and it makes such a big difference.